Hello and welcome to another episode of our podcast series, Expert Talks, where we decode success stories of professionals who have carved unique paths in tech, product, and innovation. I'm your host, Khushi Chhabra, an undergrad student at Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, currently enrolled in Thapar Summer School under the guidance of Dr. Prashant Singh Rana. Today, we are joined by someone whose journey spans from coding to leading AI driven innovations in real estate, Mr. Kapil Goyal, currently a senior product manager at Zillow. Mr. Kapil Goyal has worn multiple hats, from engineer to MBA grad, from cloud architect to product strategist, and today he is here to share his story, his lessons, and insights for students and working professionals. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Good morning, Khushi. Thank you for such a warm welcome and for that great introduction.
To begin, it would be great if you could briefly introduce yourself in your own words.
Thank you, definitely. So, hey everyone, my name is Kapil Goyal. I am a senior product manager. I'm currently working at the Zillow Group, California, USA. So, my journey started over about a decade ago in engineering, where I worked on backend systems, cloud platforms, and distributed infrastructure. Over time, I found myself drawn more and more to the why behind the technology, what users need, how the business evolves, and how tech decisions shape outcomes. And that's what nudged me towards product management. So I've worked across companies like Verizon Media, Yahoo, and now I'm working at Zillow. And here I focus mainly on AI and data platforms. So I'm particularly passionate about building systems that empower teams to move faster with data. Things like semantic layer, LLM-based analytics tool, AI model governance, scalable data discovery tools. So that's again, that's what I do here at Zillow. And I hold an MBA from UC Irvine, and I'm an AWS Solutions Architect. I have received that certification. Outside of work, I really enjoy mentoring students, reviewing research papers, and contributing to the global tech community at the sixth international conference on data science and application. So where I spoke about implementing semantic layer in the world of AI. But yeah, overall, really excited to be here today.
That was a great introduction, sir. Now let's move to the questions. So first of all, let's rewind to the early days of your career. Your journey began in engineering roles and then transitioned into product management. What was that moment that made you realize you wanted to shift from tech to product? And how did your early technical experience shape your thinking and execution as a product manager?
Great question. So again, that moment came gradually than a single aha moment that yes, one day I wake up and I'm like, I want to be a product manager. No, that doesn't happen that way. So back when I was an engineer, I was already getting really curious about why we are building certain features, who was asking for them, what success looked like, and how users were reacting to what we were building. How was it that the features we built or the products or platforms we built made the life of our customers easier? So I started joining more and more meetings with my product managers to understand what the customers wanted from a requirement perspective to the feedback perspective when we delivered something. So I even, in some cases, I even stepped up to write functional specs or user journeys when it was needed. So over time, I realized I wasn't just coding, I was helping shape outcomes. Uh, One turning point I would say was when I took ownership of a critical features rollout. I wasn't the PM officially at that point of time, but I was coordinating between QA, design, infra, marketing, and even support. So as a product manager, I realized that is like you have to wear multiple hats to be in that role, and that experience lit the spark. So I realized I loved being in the middle of user needs, business impact, and engineering creativity. And that is the blend what product management offers. So I leaned in and transitioned role internally and organically. And I later formalized that with my learning from an MBA.
How amazing it is. Sir, it would be great if you could give us insights into what kind of projects you work on.
Sure. So currently at Zillow, as I said, I lead different AI and data platform initiatives. One of the biggest effort I have recently worked on is the semantic layer initiative, which was, I believe, incredibly exciting. So we designed a metadata rich abstraction layer over our data sets to enable self-serve discovery, standardized governance, and AI-friendly data access. So this work helped simplify how data scientists interact with distributed data sets, and it's been a game changer in improving model reusability and onboarding speed. So that's just one initiative. If I were to take another example, I worked on a prototype which enables data scientists to easily discover data sets. So it sounds really small, but the data discovery is really challenging with the terabytes of data available. So you have all the data available, but if you are a data scientist or an ML engineer, you ask that what data should I trust? Is this the most accurate data? Are there any flaws in the data? So that was one problem which I worked on. So the data discovery data set, the discovery of the data set was another initiative where I looked up the customer signals, interacted with an AI assistant to understand the data structures and metadata. It was like overall giving superpowers to analysts and AI builders and helping them to cut down the time from data discovery to insight from months to something in weeks. And just one other insider tip is I've really gotten into vibe coding. So, and that's what I like to call it's basically like lightweight creative coding that helps bring ideas to life quickly. So there are, I believe, tons of platforms out there like Replit and Cursor, which almost I use every day to build prototypes or for data exploration. So again, my suggestion to all, if you're into vibe coding and you're like, no, I do not want to code, but I want to feel that, that's really a great platform to explore and visualize workflows, test your ideas, and I would highly recommend these like this to students out there.
Yeah, right. Vibe coding is really booming right now. Even I use it. And
Wow.
one thing you said, the second project you told about, even I relate to it because I'm learning data science, but I still find it hard to find the right data set, which it should not be a random data set. It should be validated.
Like I'll just give an example. So you said you're a data scientist, you go to a data platform and you're like, I want to just look at data about the most recent customers who have visited my website or application, just a random use case. And you go type the necessary keywords in the search bar, and then there are like 10 data sets which pop up. And you're like, which one should I choose to write a SQL query and get that answer to? So it seems like a very simple problem, but it's a very critical problem for data scientists, for data scientists, and even for ML engineers who want to use the data for model training. And when they try to do this discovery, they are like, okay, there are 10 data sets, but which one should I use for the model training? For some data sets, it has PII data, and you cannot use that data set for compliance reasons. But how would I, as an ML engineer, know that this data set has the customer information and I cannot use that data set for my model training? So it's a problem, but it's a good problem to have. And yeah, that was one of the things I am working on recently.
That's great. So moving ahead, you made an important decision to pursue an MBA at UC Irvine. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Uh,
You're getting
and
it right.
yeah, and also you earned your AWS Solutions Architect certification. I think that's a strong investment in both business and tech. So, how did these credentials contribute to your growth as a product manager, especially when working in AI projects?
Great question. What I think is both these credentials help me in complementary ways. So the AWS Solutions Architect certification, it really grounded me technically. It gave me that confidence when discussing cloud infrastructure, API integration, and system design with engineers. I could speak their language and make more informed trade-offs. So as a product manager, you have to deal with various customer personas. Probably, if you're in 10 meetings in a day, half of them would be with engineers, wherein you're speaking very technically, versus the other half, you could be with business leaders, wherein you have to explain the same concepts in a business friendly term. So, as a product manager, you are always juggling between these two user personas and trying, like, based on the audience you have in front of you, you are making that changes, that how should I present this technically or less technically. So that's always there. To getting back to your question, the MBA from UC Irvine helped me zoom out. So it taught me to look at products not just as a collection of features, but as a business. So how to think about pricing, customer acquisition, competitive positioning, and even legal risk. So it helped me in a lot of different ways. Just to call out a few, it helped me how to negotiate, how partnerships, and how to build cross-functional alignment. So
So, I have seen a lot of students ask whether they should get some work experience before pursuing higher studies. What would your advice be to someone weighing between a master's and gaining hands on experience?
Again, that's a great question, but I would say that everybody has their own journey. So it really depends on where you are in your learning curve. So if you're really early in your career, I would say getting hands-on work experience is incredibly valuable. You will understand real-world constraints, how teams collaborate, and what type of problems you enjoy solving. Uh, in university, in colleges, most of the knowledge is theoretical, that okay, this is what the concepts look like, this is what you should do, but you get an actual hands-on experience when you are working somewhere. It could be you're doing an internship, you're actually doing a side project, or some volunteer activity. You actually learn from those experience. So that is really an important point. And one other thing is, if you feel like you need a structured environment to deepen your business acumen or pivot into new area, say product management or data strategy, then an MBA or a technical certification can really make a lot of sense. So you don't always have to choose one before the other. I worked for several years before doing my MBA, and that helped me get so much more out of my MBA based on the experience I had. So overall, to conclude, my advice would be don't rush into a degree unless you are clear on what you want to gain from it.
That's really encouraging for many of us. So, moving ahead, you have worked in diverse domains from edge computing at Verizon to AI innovations at Zillow. What principles have stayed consistent across industries and what's changed the most?
Uh, One constant, I would say, is the importance of data quality and clarity on outcomes. So, whether I was working on CDN analytics at Yahoo or AI personalization at Zillow, the success of the project always hinged on having the right data and knowing what good looks like. So, this is really, really critical. On the flip side, what changed the most was the stakeholder ecosystem. So at Verizon, we were dealing with the edge infrastructure, so latency, compliance, and security were the top concerns. At Zillow, the focus has shifted more towards user behavior, personalization, and trust. So I would say those terminologies or the prioritized list in a stakeholder ecosystem that has changed from Verizon to Zillow.
Okay, one interesting question. Let's say engineering says a project needs 6 months and business wants it in 2 months, and you are stuck in the middle. So, how do you approach that kind of situation?
I would say that's the classic PM sandwich, right? So that happens like always. So I face this more times than I can possibly count. So first, I would try to unpack the engineering estimate. Is there like a core that's doable in 2 months? Can we experiment with like a lower fidelity version or use some sort of existing tools? And then I would go back to the business side and reframe, like, would an early signal or an MVP unlock the same insights that you're after? So this, I believe, is a really, really critical question. Often they just need evidence to support a decision, not a polished product. So this is really important. So they just want to make sure that we are heading in the right direction, and before we do any major investment in that product or a platform, this is this that product is shaping in the direction as we want it to be. So that is like a balance which a product manager always has to do, making sure that we are uh, like acting as a middleman and getting a timeline that works both for the business executives as well as is achievable on the engineering end. And I would say the real trick is turning a binary no into a collaborative what if. So, and over time building trust, so both sides know that I'm not just negotiating timelines, I'm enabling outcomes. So this is really important.
That gives great perspective to all of us. Uh, this takes me to my another question. Real estate, I think, is one of the most dynamic sectors today. So, where do you see AI making the biggest impact in this space? And what kind of innovations should students and aspiring product managers keep an eye on?
No, that's again a great question, and AI, I believe, is definitely playing an incredibly important role in real estate tech. But it's just the tip of the iceberg. In this space, we are seeing early traction on things like personalized recommendation, virtual assistants, dynamic pricing models, and intelligent fraud detection. Like, how can we make the experience of buying homes, selling homes more seamless? Instead of me talking to 10 different people from 10 different companies, I want to make this process more seamless and more trustworthy. And that is where we are evaluating how AI can help in that journey. So, but that being said, AI, I would say, is not just transforming real estate, it's fundamentally reshaping every major industry across the globe. Like, just to take few examples, in healthcare, we are seeing AI used for diagnostics and personalized treatment plans. In finance, it's driving algorithmic trading, underwriting, fraud detection. In education, I believe even in colleges and universities, we see an impact of AI, of how teaching is evolving, but thanks to all the AI innovation which is happening. So AI is transforming every industry, is what I believe. But the common thread here is AI is moving from being a tool to being a teammate. So it's not just about automating tasks. It's not about using ChatGPT to write email. It's beginning to influence decisions, surfacing insights, and even collaborating with humans in a more innovative ways. So I think the most exciting shift is happening at the intersection of intelligence, trust, and context, on how you can build AI systems that are useful but also explainable, respectful of your privacy, and aligned with human goals. So that is what I feel about AI.
That's a great way to look at it. So, moving to my favorite part, let's talk about career prep. So, if you were hiring fresh graduates for software engineering or even product roles, what mix of technical skills and soft skills would you expect from them?
So again, that's a great question. For engineers, I would look for cloud familiarity, as in I just want to make sure that they're aware of what AWS has to offer, what Google has to offer, what Microsoft has to offer, and how these services are similar and different at the same time. I would look for API understanding. I would look for what exposure the students have around data pipelines or ML foundation, especially in the AI world. It is really critical for software engineers to be very clear on the AI and ML foundations. You don't need to be an expert, but curiosity is non-negotiable here. And again, I would really want those projects and have tinkered around with some Kaggle data sets. So that's for the engineering side. For product managers, I would say I care more about the communication clarity, about the data intuition, about the obsession to be very customer centric, and how well they can tell stories with structure. So if a product manager, or if that student can take a very messy user need, a complex user need, and turn it into a prioritized roadmap item. But across both engineers and product managers, I really value this feeling of ownership and empathy. So you should have that feeling. And the best people aren't those who know it all. It's like the ones who learn fast, who care deeply, and who are willing to lift others along the way.
I've seen many students struggle to identify their interests, and especially in tech where there are so many paths. So, for someone who is unsure of the domain, what's your advice to help them find clarity and find the right path or something?
I would say don't panic if you haven't found your calling. Not everybody knows what they want to do on day one of their career. Most people don't even start with clarity, they build it. So try different things, like try internships, try side projects, try online courses, try hackathons, try volunteering opportunities. Just join a startup or a research lab. So in the initial days of your career, just try to explore different things and find your calling. I would say that is the key for your success. And as I said earlier during the podcast, everybody has their own journey. So just focus on your journey. Just work on what interests you the most, and that is the thing which will make your job really, really fruitful in the long run. And your goal isn't just to find your dream job right away. It's just about collecting clues around what excites you and what drains you the most. And once you know that, you will start aligning with your path with energy and not just opportunity.
Okay, sir, this has been incredibly insightful. Before we wrap up, if students listening to this podcast could take away just one thing from your journey, what would you want it to be?
That's again a question. I would say be boldly curious. So don't box yourself based on your degree that, okay, I have done B.Tech in computer science and engineering, so I can only be an engineer in my life. Please don't do that. Create your own path, your own journey. And again, you don't have to worry about the current role you are in, the degree which you have taken, or what others expect from you. The world is changing really, really fast. Like I have seen people move from sales to marketing, from marketing to support, from support to product management. So again, things are changing really fast. Technology is changing. So the only thing you should focus on is learning fast, adapting fast, and staying authentic. And that will take you a long way.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time and for sharing your journey with us. I'm sure our listeners will walk away with a lot more clarity and inspiration. Thank you once
No,
again, sir.
again, it's been a great, Kushi. Thank you for organizing this, for setting up this podcast. Really loved sharing my experiences with all the podcast viewers.
So, to all our listeners, if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to share it with someone who needs a little direction in their career journey. Until next time, keep learning, keep building. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.